Good evening. It is 8 p.m. I would like to call the September 26th, 2022 special board meeting of the Niles-Maine District Library Board to order. Margaret, would you please call, I'm sorry.
I'm doing it.
Cindy, would you please call the roll?
Okay. Trustee Derblick?
Here.
Trustee Schoenfeld?
Here.
Trustee Makula?
Here.
Trustee Rosansky?
Here.
Trustee Olson?
Here.
Trustee Keene?
Here. Yeah, I know. I got to read it. Okay. We have to pledge allegiance. Okay. The third item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Could we please stand? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. Okay, at this time I will reiterate the rules for our board meetings. As board president and presiding officer, it is my responsibility to preserve and maintain decorum at all times during official meetings of the library board. As such, this board will not tolerate outbursts and interruptions
Point of order.
during our meetings. I am asking that each member of the public respect that and to conduct yourselves accordingly. If on the other hand, wrong line, sorry. Public participation and comment will be permitted during the public comment portion of the agenda consistent with the library rules. Remarks shall be made from the speaker podium only. Abusive and profane comments will not be permitted and will be promptly ruled out of order. The board vests in me as the board president the authority to terminate the remarks of speakers who fail to adhere to the rules. Individuals addressing the board must at all times adhere to the library policies and other rules as may be necessary for the efficient and orderly conduct of the meeting. All public comments shall be addressed to the board as a whole, and no comments shall be addressed to individual members of the board, library staff, or other members of the public body. Thank you. Okay. All right, Cindy, would you please call the first person for public comment? Oh, sorry, it is 8:03.
Elliot Osherman?
Welcome. Long time no see. Good evening, board. This is Elliot Orshan with the Committee Against Retention of Three Snoozes. As usual, well, not usual. I hadn't originally given a copy of the speech before I realized that the budget hearing was going to limit the subject. Now we've got the rest of the speech. I'm going to skip the 9 sentences. I'm going to skip that. I've given it to you already. I'm going to skip that. I expect you to pay attention. I'm going to skip the fact that it was a budget hearing already. But let's start with a number. Pick a number. Hint. Between 6 and 8. 7? Right. That's the number of trustees that are supposed to be here tonight to listen to the public at this budget hearing and following meeting. Even your treasurer can only count to 6. Of course, he's the reason there's only 6. Because the 6 of you had plenty of opportunities since the resignation of Olivia Hanusiak in August of last year to determine her replacement. Votes in how many months to stall that replacement? More than 7. And then after the legislature intervened, unanimously, your treasurer went to court to insist the board had a right to determine the replacement. Should have been done forthwith, according to the Attorney General, but why would you start listening to him now? I hadn't intended to talk on the subject, but I see you've got your attorney here. So I'm charging Carolyn Derblick with violation of Robert's Rules of Order. Any number of times I've given her copies from Robert's Rules of Order indicating rights and responsibilities for calls for point of order and calls for the order of the day. Doesn't stop her. She just keeps going. She ignores it completely. I've given her copies. I've given her photocopies. I've given her explanations. I've noted the pages. Just keeps going. Like the Energizer Bunny. Maybe our attorney can explain to her what Robert's Rules of Orders means. It doesn't mean do what I want, pick the rules I like, disregard the rest. Please do that for us. I'm assuming you have the capability of doing so. One more thing. We still want Umer. Good night.
Thank you. All
That ends public comments.
right, thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is ordinances and resolutions. Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 22-03, providing for the budget and appropriation of the Niles-Maine District Library, Cook County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2022, and ending July 30, 2023?
So moved.
Second.
June 30.
I'd like to motion to amend the ordinance 2203. In light of what we've heard here tonight at the budget hearing, I implore you, Suzanne, Joe, and Carolyn, to listen to what you heard here tonight. Listen to the people who are coming month after month and the people who know what they're doing, the professionals. I motion to amend the ordinance 2203, providing for the budget and appropriation of the Niles-Maine District Library, Cook County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023, and ending June 30th, 2024. I move to approve the budget originally proposed by Executive Director Cindy Rademacher for a total budget of $7,481,055 and appropriation of $14,962,110. Do I have a second?
Second.
Becky, could you please repeat that amount again for the budget?
The budget is $7,481,055.
Thank you.
So your amendment mentioned 2 dates. You said 2024.
Did I give the wrong date?
But, yeah, what are the dates
So
of your amendment?
the same as whatever, I thought it was July 1st, 2023, right? This is the
July 1st, 2022,
Pardon me,
ending June 30th, 2023.
23, thank you.
Okay.
And is this ordinance 2202 as shown on the paper?
No, it's 2203 is the adoption. 2202 is what was approved and publicized 30 days ago.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, we have, we need to take a vote on the amended.
Okay.
Or discuss it. Which is first?
Well, don't you have to vote on it before you discuss it?
No, usually you discuss it before you vote.
Before, you don't vote on it? Okay. Trustee McCullough,
We worked for 5 meetings and many, many hours and a lot of hand-wringing and yelling and conniption fits. And we came up with a budget that we all agreed on about 30 days ago for $6,646,129. And that's the budget we should be passing today. That's what we agreed on.
I didn't agree to that.
Well, maybe you didn't, but it passed as a tentative budget. I think it was 5-1.
Only because we were bullied
all
into
right,
it, Joe.
please don't interrupt. Thank you.
We could stay here all night, and
Go ahead,
we're not
Justin.
going to
Finish
pass a
your
$7.4 million or $7.7 million budget.
Trustee Schoenfeld.
And this is 300,000
Oh,
more
sorry.
than we budgeted last year, and the 660,000 is $1.2 million more than we're actually spending at this time anyway. So it's more than adequate than that we are budgeting, more than we need.
All right, thank you. Trustee Schoenfeld.
I have a long dissertation that it might take a few minutes. First and foremost, the election showed the residents are concerned with the high cost of library services and we're asking for lower taxes. We were elected in our position by a fair and legal vote of the majority of voters who responded to our promise to reduce unnecessary spending at the library. We understand from solid employment and real estate data that residents are moving not out of Niles, but also out of Illinois. Our goal is to make the total tax package for property owners in the district less burdensome due to the variety of fixed incomes. Currently, 53% of American households have experienced income loss since March of 2020 due to the COVID pandemic. We need to track and prioritize long-term goals. The budget determines the services that would be offered and resources devoted to the library programs. We did not cut any programs whatsoever. With the expansion of digital media, the rise of ebooks, we need plenty of friendly signs and newfound oomph capturing the minds of users. Determine what library services such as websites could provide in a second language based upon creating a brief paper survey and placing it inside library materials at checkout. Adding library services to specific language other than English would increase community interest, involvement in our library, which fully engages library staff. We need to have our library staff who can speak a second language with multiple languages library services of staff, significant advantages in both terms, making connections with the Niles-Maine community. We also need to embrace our biggest asset, which is our library team, hopefully and ready to offer assistance for all kinds of those who need it. We need to promote the library as the new office space and to amplify the digital resources that we have. We need to rewrite our library within our means. Cross promotions to share the exciting things that can happen on site or take things one step further with social media. The work would help spread the word to new, curious audiences about what makes the library physically, locally, and socially to our community. The library can offer live cooking demonstrations focused around a new cookbook or provide tools for podcast recording. The library constitutes the heart of our community, but we need to stay within our budget. That's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Rosansky?
Yes, hello. I would first like to respond to the last comments that were made. I ran with them, or not with them, at the same time. I received more votes than both of them. I did not stand for lowering taxes. I ran on supporting a strong library. So what happens to those people who voted for me? We do have library staff that speak multiple languages already. We also give cooking demonstrations pertaining to cookbooks and so on because I've attended them. So to say we don't do this is incorrect. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Olson?
Yes, to respond to some of the Yes, I'd like to respond to some of the comments as well. You mentioned that elections showed that they voted for people who want to cut library programs. Not sure if I heard that right. I hope not, because I don't think that's what the public here has experienced or has said. They said the opposite, that library services have been affected and they have been cut. And please stop the freeze. How could we improve any of these programs? How could we have baking demonstrations, which, by the way, we already do? How can we improve and have more of the same kind of thing if we have a freeze? You are saying one thing, you want something, but you don't want to pay for it. you're not listening to the community at all for anything that you have done or passed this year has not been for the community, for our library, for our staff. And again, the amount of money that we have been told many times by the community members that the amount of money that taxes are increased because of the library is very, very small. People have not complained about, oh, I pay so much in library taxes. People have not said that. They may complain about taxes in general, but they have not pinpointed the library. This budget is mediocre compared to what we would like or what we would need to increase and to provide a wonderful library again. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Keene?
Yes, I want to point out that even though I believe the staff has definitely earned a raise that we asked for in our budget that we proposed, the 5.9%, that's not what we asked for with this motion. We only asked for what the staff provided us with. We're asking for the staff budget, not for the bigger budget. We are trying to compromise in the middle by asking for this motion. We had people here tonight speak from the community. We had children speak. We had staff speak. We had former staff speak, in case that was lost on anyone. Jabez used to work here, but guess what? He quit. And he still cared enough about this library to come back and try to get us to fund the staffing. We have the union here. The union was used as an excuse in the past to not pay for more salaries or to give a higher raise. The union said, and I quote tonight, to fully fund the budget. You cannot use that as an excuse to not put money in the budget for staff. I can't fathom how you can sit here and listen to this over and over for over a year and still not let it sink in that we need to support this library by providing the correct amount of staff so they can do the programs and order the books and do the passports that people are asking us for. The budget that we need is the budget that the staff, the professional staff, has created for us. Please pass that. Thank you. Oh, and one more thing. Someone else said tonight that this library doesn't value people. I want to make sure that all the staff and community knows that it is a library that values people, the people who work here and the people who come here. It might not be everyone who is valuing that, but please be assured that there are those of us who do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Second that.
So we have, oh, now it's time to vote on the motion. Yes. Okay. Cindy, please.
We're voting on the amendment?
Yes, the amended motion.
Yes.
Did you want to read it again and then we'll vote?
It is a motion to amend Ordinance 2203, providing for the budget and appropriations of the Niles-Maine District Library, Cook County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2022, and ending June 30th, 2023, to an amount of $7,481,055.
Thank you.
Trustee
Please call the roll. Oh, sorry.
Trustee Derblick?
No.
Trustee Schoenfeld?
No.
Trustee McCullough?
No.
Trustee Rosansky?
Yes.
Trustee Olson?
Yes.
Trustee Keene?
Yes.
3-3, motion fails.
I motion to amend
The
the
amendment?
amendment or the motion of Carolyn made to approve the ordinance 22-23, providing for the budget and appropriation of the Niles-Maine District Library, Cook County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2022, and ending June 30th, 2023, in the amount of $6,646,129.
So that is the original motion. You're not amending the motion, right? That's the original motion that it was, before Becky's amendment?
No, there wasn't.
Yes, there was.
Hold on. There was an original motion on the floor to approve ordinance 2203 in the budgeted amount of 6646129. That motion was seconded. There was an amendment to that motion which failed, so the original motion is still on the floor.
I amend the original motion.
You don't have to amend it, it's there.
Oh.
Doesn't matter, it's still.
Oh, it is automatically, because I purposely didn't mention it, because I didn't want to cause controversy. Okay.
You have it 2203, right?
Yes. Okay, I see. Okay, so what the attorney explained is, even though I didn't read the amount of 22-03 into the motion, it's automatically that amount.
Right.
So I didn't realize that.
So do you
So
wanna-
Joe, Trustee McCooley, you actually don't need to amend it? The amendment,
I think our number, my number's probably the same as what you,
No, the motion automatically includes your numbers, so we're going back to the original motion.
okay, that's the original motion, should be that number.
Right.
Please call the roll.
No discussion?
Do you want to have more discussion? Are we
Well,
have
we
some more
discussed the
discussion?
amendment, we didn't discuss
Well, we've
the-
discussed this budget at $6,600,000 for half a dozen meetings.
Yes.
We've brought in data.
You're going to follow procedure or not? Just ask everybody if they don't want to,
Absolutely.
say no.
Trustee McCula, any comments?
This budget is, people complained about not supplying materials. We're $100,000 more in materials than last year. We're up on almost everything from what we budgeted last year. We're $300,000 greater than last year's budget. We're operating currently at substantially below last year's budget amount, about $1 million less than we budgeted. At this point, we're going to be operating, we're budgeting for $1.3 million more than the rate we're currently operating at. This is more than sufficient. We're buying more material than ever, and there's no reason to go any higher than this 6.6. In fact, this is even excessive. So this is the only budget I think makes common sense here for the library, for the staff, for the taxpayers, for the patrons.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Schoenfeld?
No comment.
Trustee Rosansky?
Yes, I happen to have a couple. First of all, you talked about the 6 meetings, the last of which you wouldn't listen to us whatsoever. You kept saying, appropriations, appropriations. And the one before that, was that the one where I notified them in advance I wasn't going to be here and they decided to have a meeting, so it would be 3-2? Yes, and at the last 2 meetings, you also held the checks hostage. You wouldn't sign the checks until after a budget was passed, which is why I finally voted yes the last time, since I sat here for 5.5 hours and you wouldn't budge. I finally said yes, so you would at least sign the checks. Bullying on the top level, refusing to sign checks, holding the checks hostage so that we would pass the temporary budget is ridiculous. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Olson?
Your statement that this budget is the best for the employees is way out of line. Not the best for the staff. But we only have 65 members in our staff. We used to have 91, and then long before COVID, we had 110. So how could this be best for the staff? And we're not funding more staff in this budget. That is a big problem. And of course, the hiring freeze is another huge issue. That's all.
Thank you, trustee Keene.
Except it's not trustee Keene. Thank you, trustee.
She was
no,
coming
thank you.
She was calling.
Trustee Keene, please.
Yeah, it stands very clear that the only thing really that was not compromised on this budget, because some of the things that Treasurer McCullough actually are true, they did come up on some of the line items such as materials and programs. But the one line that they were absolutely not willing to negotiate on is the staff salary line. And that says a whole lot, and everyone is hearing what it says, that you don't care. You don't want the staff here. It's obvious. You couldn't hide it if you were trying to. And it's an awful shame, because as someone said tonight, the staff is the library. When the library closes and the staff go home, that's the biggest asset the library has, is leaving every night. And we have fewer and fewer people here to do that. It's an honest shame what's happening. And the way that this whole budget circus has been handled by the officers of this board, with all the, yes, with exception of the vice president, you know, all the different meetings being called at different times, grilling the staff, demeaning the staff, having meetings when you know that trustees aren't going to be here, and making the staff go through that exercise is ridiculous and disrespectful. And we should have Umair Kadir here tonight. That was another tactic that was even lower than I expected. I don't know why I keep getting surprised by the stuff that you're doing, but I was. I just hope that this will all be resolved soon when he does come to the board, because it's happening, and it's going to happen sooner than I can hope, hopefully. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'm tired of this nonsense.
Thank you. Cindy, would you now call the roll?
Trustee Derblick?
Yes.
Trustee Schoenfeld?
Yes.
Trustee McCullough?
Yes.
Trustee Rosansky?
Pass.
Trustee Olson?
I say that I would like to, no, that I would not like to pass it, but I'm going to say pass. No.
Are you saying yes or pass? Pass means I'm passing it on to somebody else. I'm
Oh.
not passing the budget.
Oh,
It's up to you to say what you want.
yes, I know. You don't know how much I want to say no, but I'm going to say yes only because I think the library, I don't want to damage any more. I don't want to damage any more programs or services. I really would like us to get started on a new path, whatever that may be. So I'm going to say yes.
Trustee Keene?
While it pains me to have to vote yes for this budget as well, I think it's in the best interest of the library to have a budget rather than no budget. So yes, I pass it.
Trustee Rosansky?
Since it's already passed, I say no.
5-1, motion passes.
Thank you.
There is no
Yeah.
new business.
Do I have a motion to adjourn
So motion.
Second.
the special board meeting of September 26? Cindy, please call the roll. No.
So what are we doing?
Cindy, I just wanted to say, we have a motion to adjourn the September 26, 2022 special board meeting.
Okay.
And who first and second?
I said it first.
And Joe did.
Joe or Diane?
Both of us,
Both
but you
of
can
them. Pick
him.
whichever one you
Make
want.
him king.
Give it to Diane.
No
I'll pick of
thanks.
him.
Okay, are we ready to vote?
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Doesn't matter.
Trustee Derblick?
Yes.
Trustee Schoenfeld?
Yes.
Trustee McCullough?
Yes.
Trustee Rosansky?
Yes.
Trustee Olson?
Yes.
Trustee Keane?
Yes.
6 yeses, motion passes.
Okay, the
Time,
meeting adjourns. We adjourn the meeting at 8:30 PM.